Live, guys.
Hey guys, thanks again for joining us. I know you're all excited to be here. My name's Hector and this is...
Hi, my name is Miriam.
And we're with Contractors Intelligence School. So we're going to be covering the topic of basically what does it take to become a contractor in the state of California. We've helped over 100,000 people succeed in becoming licensed contractors, and we want to make sure we do the same for you. So if you're interested in taking control of your career, let's go ahead and move forward and just get started. A little bit about our agenda items. We're going to talk about qualifications, the application process and approval, what's required, test registration as well, what you'll get when you sign up with Contractors Intelligence School in terms of enrollment and materials, prep strategy, which is very critical, so make sure you stay tuned for that towards the end, and then what happens after you pass. So without further ado, I will pass the mic over to Miriam, who will cover the qualifications.
Thank you, Hector. Yeah, so we can definitely go over the qualifications. Let's go ahead and open the door and review what is necessary to get a contractor's license. So if you're thinking of doing work that's going to be $500 or more, that's including the labor and the cost of materials, you are going to legally require a contractor's license in the state of California. So let's get into the requirements if this fits you, and you do need to have a contractor's license. Essentially, you need to be at least 18 years old in order to qualify. You need to have 4 years of experience within the past 10 years, meaning if your experience is within the past 30, unfortunately, it would be too late for you to apply. But if it's fairly recent, within the past 10 years, then good news is you would be eligible to move forward. You also do need to have a social security number or an individual tax identification number. So for you, for those of you at home that think that you can apply, that you can't apply just because you don't have a social security number, good news is that you can with an ITIN. Now, I would say that the most frequent question, Hector, is what constitutes the 4 years of experience? What can I use towards that, right?
Yes, that's
perfect.
Correct.
So let's dive into that and explore the possibilities of qualifying. So essentially, you do need to have 4 years at a journeyman level. Journeyman level means that you've completed an apprenticeship and you've worked within the field, and that would get you to the journeyman status, or you were hired directly through a construction company. You built up your skill and knowledge, and you are now at a level where you have been unsupervised for at least 4 years of that experience. That also constitutes journeyman level.
What about education? Like if I have a college degree related to it?
Definitely. So the state does acknowledge education. You can totally use this towards your experience to apply.
Okay.
It is up to the state to determine, based off of your transcripts, how much credit they can give you. Okay. They give you up to 3 years of experience towards this. And again, it would just be up to them to review your transcripts and see how much you can qualify for.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, there are some, I would say, more uncommon ways to apply, such as the owner-builder and self-employment. Owner-builder means that you built your own home. You own the home, which is why you could do this, and you have the skill and knowledge to do so. The key point of this is that you also have the permits issued by the city to allow you to do this. Self-employment is also one of the more uncommon ways to go ahead and apply. This would be more of a sense that you worked directly on your own, you didn't work through a company, and you have at least 4 years of experience in this particular field to apply. So
like my uncle, he's been working under the radar, you know, getting guys to help him out.
Right.
He's been self-employed, so as long as he can prove he's been doing it for the last 4 years, so he would need like a receipt.
Yeah, so the state does require some type of paper trail because they can't just take your word for it, right? They need some type of evidence. Unfortunately, me saying, hey, I have 4 years of experience, take my word for it, wouldn't be sufficient, right, for the state.
Good point.
They do need to verify it because they do need to know that consumers are safe with your type of building experience. So they would need some type of paper trail, such as permits, receipts, any type of voided checks, any type of contracts, anything that you have to prove that you have done this work you're claiming for at least 4 years in the past 10 would be sufficient for the state.
Wonderful. And you just kind of reminded me of a pop quiz question.
Oh, okay.
So, why does the CSLB exist? Well, it's to protect consumers, like you said.
Yeah.
So That might come up on your test if you enroll with us.
Look at that, free answers and everything.
All right, awesome. So we talked about owner, builder, self-employment, basically the qualifications. Let's go into once you're ready to apply. You met these qualifications. You'll get access to our course material once you give us a buzz. You'll have access to Intelligent Tracker through our mobile app, which is exclusive only to us. And I recall we're the only school with the mobile app as well.
Correct.
Within that, if you're like, hey, I love this guy Hector, but you know what, I don't want to hear more from him. We have video guides in there that will guide you through every step of the way, from filling out the application all the way to when you pass the test and what's required after that. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and we'll go over those additional details towards the end. All right, so we talked about the qualifications. You're ready to apply. Tell me more about the application process, because I know for a fact people get stuck on that. Sometimes they don't even apply because it's so tedious. Can you tell me more?
Yeah, definitely. So the application process is going to be, like you said, the most tedious portion of it. This is typically where people receive that 20-page packet and they're like, hey, this is too much. I don't want to move forward with this. It seems too complicated. But the great news is that here at Contractors Intelligence School, we have a specialized department that helps you handle this. And these individuals will use a multi-tier approach review, meaning that they will review your application and determine if there's any red flags that you need to look out for that the state might not like. This multi-tier approach means that not only one person will reviewing it, but you will have 3 people reviewing it, 3 sets of eyes to determine that the application meets everything that the state is going to be looking for in order for you to have an easier and quicker process. Okay. Now, once that application has been reviewed, it's been deemed final, meaning that we don't see any more red flags on here. It's going to be handed directly to the CSLB for quicker processing, and we're going to get a certified stamped copy as well. And why is that super important, Hector, that we get that?
Because, CSLB, humans just like you and I,
right.
They can make errors and lose your paperwork, so we want to make sure we have proof that we delivered everything as they saw it fit.
Yeah, exactly. And, like Hector said, they are human. Every human is prone to error. And we've seen it where, sometimes money orders even get lost, and that's super important. You can't get a money order back. But with that certified stamped copy, it shows evidence that that was submitted to the state. You can show that to, essentially back you up.
Wonderful.
Yep.
All right. So we talked a little bit about the application process, but I know the certification of work experience is usually the most daunting. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. There are a few common pitfalls that people typically get stuck on, and they call us and they're like, hey, I can't get past this point. But again, that's why we're here. That's why we have a specialized department to assist you with this if you get stuck. The first common pitfall that we see is the name on the application. And this is going to be incredibly crucial because it's going to be the name that you're putting out there to identify you to your potential consumers. The name for the state to be able to accept it does need to match the trade that you're applying for. So I'll give you an example. Hector, let's say that I'm applying for my landscaping license, right? Would an applicable name be Miriam Concrete?
It doesn't sound like you do landscaping.
Right. It doesn't tell my an adequate name for me if I wanted to get through to the state, pretty quickly, would be Miriam Landscaping. That would be very clear, very transparent as to what I'm licensed to do. Now, another common pitfall would be the certification of work experience, and that's this long page that you're seeing right here. This page is very crucial because it's essentially what the state is using to make sure that you do have the 4 years of experience that's required in order for you to qualify for this particular license you want. The key thing to remember about this particular form is that you're going to need a certifier. A certifier is somebody that's vouching for you, that's stating, yes, I have directly witnessed that this individual has the 4 years of experience required to get a contractor's license. So a certifier can be one of many people. It can be your employer, so the owner of the company. But in many cases, like we've seen, sometimes the employers aren't willing to sign for you because they don't want the competition. They see it as, you taking consumers away from them if you're out and getting your contractor's license. So what are some other avenues we could explore? It could be a contractor, so somebody that's licensed to do exactly what you do, or maybe licensed to do something else, but has a contractor's license in the state of California. Now, let's say that you, for some reason, don't know any contractors in the field. It could also be your foreman or supervisor. But like we've seen before, sometimes foremen or supervisors are pretty close to the employer. So maybe we don't want to take the risk of this foreman or supervisor telling the employer that we're going to get a license because we're not ready to part ways with our job yet. So we don't want to, get the axe, get laid off. We don't want that to happen because we're not ready for that. So it could also be a journeyman, which is somebody literally at your same level, somebody that's equivalent to you in the job field. It can be a fellow employee, so somebody that's at any level in your company that has witnessed directly what you've done. It can also be a business associate for those that are self-employed, so somebody that's witnessed your experience but not necessarily in the field, such as an inspector or such as a professional engineer. So those are all ways that you could have a certifier sign for this particular experience.
So essentially, if I'm self-employed, right, I worked alongside, or I got a job because a contractor hired me,
right.
Prime, I can have the Prime say, hey, can you just sign on here saying that you saw me do this work?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. That's one way to go about it. I mean, literally anybody that's been in the industry alongside of you can vouch for your experience because as we've seen, this list is pretty extensive. Gotcha. And if it's the traditional roles within a construction project.
So would you say the key word is witnessed?
Witness.
As long as they witnessed?
Yeah, because they've literally seen you do the work and they can vouch for it. I mean, somebody that hasn't seen you do the work or somebody that has no idea of what you can perform wouldn't be a good witness. Like, I have many people that call and say, can my wife be a witness? But if she has no idea what the trade entails, she probably wouldn't be a good witness in case the state were to call her. Yeah. We don't want to have it be that they call her up and she has no clue what to say to them, right?
Especially if your girlfriend's on the site. No?
Stop it.
All right.
No.
Joking. All right. Awesome. So we talked about the work certificate. Let's go ahead and talk about, we got the application submitted because you guys did the multi-tier approach.
Right.
Everything's smooth and transition smoothly. Now I get a letter from the CSLB saying, hey, you qualify to take the test. Here's what's next.
Right.
So you have to contact PSI. You have to schedule 2 exams, law and business, as you guys can see, or the trade exam. I highly recommend, sorry, my English is not so well today. So I highly recommend taking one exam first so you can focus on that, right, and then coming back and then focusing on the other one. So some of the topics that are covered here are what you're going to be essentially tested on. So under law and business, you'll see contract requirements and execution, business organization and licensing, business financing, employment requirements, and then of course for trade exam, planning, estimating, construction math, safety, all which is covered in our crash course once you sign up for your course here at Contractors Intelligence School. So we talked about what to expect on the exam.
Right.
I signed up for your course, but there's a couple options. Can you tell me more?
Yeah, definitely. So you're interested and you want to know what we offer. So we offer quite a variety of different options depending on what best suits your needs. So this home study package that we're seeing right here essentially will entail all of the DVDs, all of the physical manuals for those people that prefer a hands-on approach, for those people that want to have a physical book so that they can write notes, that they can highlight, later refer to, which is something that our students typically do. They later tell us that they found this quite handy because for some reason they forgot some legality and they were able to go back into their law reference book and find the answer right there and then. So it's a pretty handy package if you prefer that hands-on approach. It also has the instructor support. So if you for some reason are stumped, it's not clear to you what the book is telling you, you could always call Hector or Andrew, our other instructor here at Contractors Intelligence School, and they would be able to clarify that for you. It also comes with the online practice exams, 90 days of online practice exams. This is going to be for the law and the trade. And this is what our instructors like to call the secret sauce. It's going to be very similar, and the key phrase is similar to the actual questions you're going to see on the state exam. And if you're getting around 80% on this, the likelihood of you passing is going to be quite high. So again, these are all going to be key to success for you to be able to move forward and to work in the industry that you want to work in, make more money, and pursue your particular goals. It also comes with 100% exam money back guarantee, meaning that we are so confident in our product that we are willing to guarantee it or give you your money back if for some reason you were to fail.
Wonderful. All right, so The other option is this one, right? So can you tell me
Right.
what this means?
Yeah, so this is our online course, and this is for people that prefer to be on the go. So, mainly contractors are constantly going from site to site. They're not always in a particular place at one time. Yeah, they're very mobile, so they can whip out their phone, they can use their computer or tablet, whatever they prefer to use, as long as it has internet access, and be able to study on the go. They can study the practice exams, the videos, the reading material, the audio streaming. Comes with instructor support, again, if you want to refer to Hector or Andrew, and it comes with application review as well. So if you were to get stumped on a question on the application, you can always call up our dedicated department. They can assist you with it or review it before you submit it to give you that assurance that everything meets what the state needs. It also, again, comes with 100% exam money back guarantee because we're so confident and 98% of our students pass on the first try that we're confident that you will too.
Wonderful. So just a reminder, the application is usually where people get stomped on.
Right.
So I can see this as being critical. And like you said, construction contractors are usually on the go from site to site. So having it mobile makes it very simple and easy for them to learn.
Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
great. So now we covered that. What is this crash course that I do? What does that actually mean?
So a crash course is essentially a tool for you to utilize once you've passed the exam and you want to review. You want to make sure you have all your bases covered prior to you taking the exam. So if there was a question that does come up, you can always refer back to the instructor because they're going to be there available for you. And the main question that I typically get about this is, what's the difference between the live stream and the in-person? And the answer is they're exactly the same thing. The only difference is the way that you can pursue them. One of them is going to be virtual, so you could do it from home in your PJs without having to go anywhere. You do have the handy dandy chat portal, so you could chat with Hector or Andrew in real time. You could go ahead and ask them any questions, ask them to clarify. If for some reason Hector's not doing a great job of explaining something, you could ask him then and there to make sure that you properly understand the content. The in-person is going to be, again, an in-person site where you're in a classroom setting surrounded by other contractors that are like-minded, and you're going to have the instructor right there in front of you. So if you have any questions, you just have to raise your hand and, ask away. So that's the basics of it. Again, they're the same thing, utilized prior to you taking the exam. And it's going to be more of a check-in tool for you to make sure that you're properly prepared for the exam.
Wonderful. And just one thing I want to highlight is, being with students in the classroom is sometimes they have mentioned to me like how critical and how valuable it's been for them.
Right.
When there's another, contractor that asks a question that they weren't thinking about, and then it comes up on the exam. So, there is some value to being there in person as well as on, the live stream, because you can ask those questions immediately, or you can also just tune in to see what other contractors are thinking as well.
Yeah, and I think it serves well as a networking tool as well.
Correct.
Because in this industry, networking is key. You always want to make sure you have a friend in the industry, and this definitely serves that purpose.
Yeah, especially when they're bidding for jobs and they're like, hey, I need a person for this. So
yeah, subcontracting is key. Absolutely.
Exactly. Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, so I know we have a promotion. Can you tell them about that, please?
Absolutely. So this is one of my favorite promotions just because it literally gives you every single tool you need to succeed. It gives you the full online course, which again is our most popular course. We're actually the only ones in the industry that offer this type of platform that's fully online, because we understand, again, that contractors are on the go and they need some type of ease in order for them to be able to study wherever they are. And we offer the live streaming class, but if you don't want to do live stream, you don't want to do it from home, again, you could come into a classroom setting with other students so that you can network, or talk face-to-face with Hector or Andrew and ask any questions you might need to. And it does come with your first year bond paid through us. So for you guys at home that don't know what the bond is, it's actually going to be mandatory for you to get a bond in order for your license to be issued. It's going to be a $25,000 bond, and if you get this handy dandy package here, it basically ties it up in a nice little bow, and it provides you everything that you need to be successful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Sounds great. And then we did mention the mobile app. I know it's exclusive only to Contractors Intelligence School. I haven't seen any other school that has that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we want to share with them?
Yeah. Like you said, no other school in the state of California offers this to what we know. They don't
Right.
offer this type of platform. It is exclusive to students of Contractors Intelligence School. And I think the easiest way to explain this is through an example, maybe a scenario.
Yeah.
So let's say that for some reason your wife is dragging you to Target, and we all know that even though she says 5 to 10 minutes, it's not going to be that.
Never is.
It's going to be a while. It's going to be maybe
Easily.
45 minutes to an hour. She's going to be window shopping, maybe getting things that you don't really need for your home, but it's absolutely necessary at that time.
So is Starbucks, apparently.
Exactly. And it has Starbucks now, so yeah, that's another time waster right there. So let's set the scene and say that you're shopping. And again, it's going to be 45 minutes to an hour, but you have that time to study, which is pretty great because you can just pop in some headphones. You can block out that white noise.
You got me at that. I don't have to hear her. We're
Yeah,
good.
you can block out that white noise. Hey, you can say, honey, I'm studying, I'm preparing for our future, and you're golden right there. That's a great answer.
There you go.
And while she's window shopping, you can study, you can prepare, you can utilize that time in a very adequate manner.
Awesome. I don't have to share my credit card with her, though, right?
I mean, that's kind of a personal thing, Hector. I don't know.
right.
I don't know how you work your finances.
All right, we'll move forward. All right. So we talked about essentially everything that's required to become a contractor in the state of California. You passed the exam, now what? So as you guys can see here, you'll need a bond, which is already included in that promo. And then from there, you'll also need workers' comp, depending on your classification. And then the open book asbestos exam, make sure you contact Rick at Pro Builders. You'll need the live scan fingerprinting. Once again, going back to the application and the mobile app, all that is also in video, so it can guide you through all of it if you have any questions in the future. Of course, you can always call us. We're here to answer your calls while, during work hours.
Yeah.
And then last but not least is celebrate, right? Celebrate your win. You're now a contractor in the state of California, so you can start doing jobs. And that's pretty much it. Now, a little bit of the timeline, just a refresher. You need to be 18 years of age or older. You have to have a social security number or I-10 and 4 years of experience, which is key. From there, you'll do the application process going through our program. Makes it super easy, very seamless. You'll sign up for your test registration once you actually get once you get accepted from the CSLB, and then you'll enroll in one of the courses that we offer, whether it's online, video, DVD. I don't think we have VHS. I don't know why don't we? No, I'm just kidding. No VHS.
Mr. Old School,
I still have my Blockbuster VHS tape. No. And then from there, come back. We'll take care of you with a bond. We have a sister company that will help you with that, Pro Builders. We celebrate all together, some carne asada, some beer, or kombucha, whatever you like. And that's it. So this is a live chat. Is there any questions?
Yeah, we actually have quite a few questions. I love the interaction. So let's go ahead and address this question for you guys. So Greg Harris is asking, when you say unsupervised, does that mean the boss doesn't have to be on site? That's a great question, Greg. So no, that doesn't mean that. There should always be a foreman or supervisor on site, but it means they're not having to directly supervise your work for them to assure that it's quality. Essentially, they can leave you unsupervised and be assured that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in a safe manner. That's what that means. How long is the state application process with the state? Another great question, Greg. So the application process typically right now is taking 3 to 6 weeks, just depending on how quickly the state representatives can get to it. Shortest is 3 weeks, longest is 6 weeks. And then another question from Jaime Arellano is, are both tests taken on the same day? Great question. So the overall test can be taken separately. You have to schedule it with PSI, which is another company that the CSLB is utilizing in order to do your test taking. And they do have quite a few facilities that you're essentially able to schedule whichever you prefer to take first. Some people prefer to just focus on the trade and then later focus on the law, vice versa, or they want to just jam them out, take them together. Totally up to you, however you feel the most comfortable. And where can I take the test? So again, PSI utilizes quite a few test centers within the state of California. And the great thing about PSI is that you now have quite a variety of locations to choose from. So all you have to do is go on the PSI website, type in your zip code, and it'll tell you what location's closest to you. And then another question from Hi Mariano is, if I have a DUI, will that affect my application? So I would say that it would go back to the state representative, whoever is reviewing your application at that point. It does go based off discretion. Typically DUIs wouldn't affect, but it depends on the severity of it, and it depends on how long ago it happened. They take quite a few things into account, and they allow you to plead your case and tell them the factors that happened in that particular day, everything that you've done since to essentially rehabilitate yourself, and they make a decision based off of those factors. Okay.
Wonderful. So looks like we covered everything.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, we're going to be hosting this every 2 weeks. So come back. If you want to share this link, of course, it'll be up.
Right.
Share with anybody that you know is interested in becoming a contractor in the state of California. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks at the same time, same channel. If you have any questions, you can always email us at questions@contractorshighschool.com. I believe that'll do it for now.
Yeah, thanks guys for your participation. I really appreciated the questions, and I hope you guys have a great night. We hope to see you next time.
All right. See you later.
Guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.